What is up guys, Wolfgang here. So today I want to talk about the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini. Now this video is more of a first impressions on the keyboard as I haven't been using it for too long now. I've only lent it from a friend to try it out, and well, I wanted to share my thoughts. Now first of all, everything in this video is my thoughts and my thoughts alone. Nobody's paying for this content or anything to be said specifically. So let's get into it. First things first, the design. Well, it's a very simple, plain design. Plastic all around. Not a necessarily bad thing, but I do feel a lot of creaking. I don't know if a camera catches that. But not the worst thing that could happen. I mean, it's not the best, but I can live with it, I guess. What I can say for sure is that I'm really liking this font on the keys. I really like it. It's a very simple font. I really enjoy it. So I'm actually considering buying some of these keycaps for my main keyboard, the ROG Azoth. I have some pretty decent keycaps. I like these a lot, but and I'm okay with the font, but I kind of like how this font looks as well, and I think the legends are slightly larger. I appreciate that. All right, back to the keyboard. When we're talking about lighting, as you can see, it's pretty nice per RGB lit keyboard. Lighting looks pretty bright, pretty fluid, pretty nice. That's what I can say. I normally turn it off, so it's not a big deal for me. I'm not the right guy to ask for it. I'm not the right guy to judge it or anything, so I'll just give it a thumbs up and keep going with the video. In terms of extras, it comes with a lot of extras, and the main reason I'm making this video is because I want to try rapid trigger, which is one of the features that this keyboard has. Rapid trigger just means that when you're pressing down the key, it'll register, whenever your actuation is set. But rapid trigger means that when you start releasing the key, it'll release, like the computer will stop detecting you're touching the key much quicker than a normal keyboard where it has to reach a certain actuation point. It's a cool feature. It definitely does something, but we'll talk about it later. Aside from that, you also get the adjustable actuation point, which is something you don't get with normal mechanical keyboards. You get the replaceable keycaps, of course, with very standard cross-design stabs. I don't know if it's stabs, actually. I'm talking like I know about keyboards. But yeah, pretty standard. You can replace these keycaps fairly easily. It is USB-C rechargeable over here, and the receiver, the USB receiver, is also Type-C. Let me pull it out on my computer for a second. So here's the receiver, and I really appreciate it being Type-C, even though my motherboard needs more Type-C ports for me, but it's nice to see a USB Type-C receiver. So if you have a front panel with a Type-C and you want to use this as specifically for gaming keyboard, definitely a pretty easy hot swap switch, or we'll put it in and then take it out later. There is no slot for it in the keyboard though, as far as I can tell. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's definitely not obvious. Now, it also has Bluetooth in case you want to connect it to your phone perhaps. I won't, but it's a feature if you're interested. And lastly, once again, I consider it a feature. I really like the keyboard's font on the keys themselves. Oh, it's not connected to my computer, that's why it's flashing. But I really like the font on the keys. Now, the price right now is around 180 bucks MSRP, but I've seen it on deals on Amazon currently for around like 130. So definitely keep an eye on for those discounts because it is worth it. The main thing about this video that I was interested in, annoyances. So let's be clear. I come from a circa $400 total keyboard. So I am slightly biased, as this keyboard is half or less, probably, what is that, about a quarter of the price of this one, and depending on discounts. So there is some bias, but yeah, let's just talk about it. I do not like the software at all. To find stuff, for example, to activate the rapid trigger, which you got to do on your own, and as well as adjust the actuation point, you have to look around in the app or follow a video to figure it out. I followed a video from Optimum Tech on his review on this keyboard, and I was curious, so I followed along with him on how to activate rapid trigger, because if I hadn't seen that video, it's a bit of a mess to get there. But I do not like their app. Their UI has a lot of stuff I would not like, and I guess, I'm a vocal Armory Crate enjoyer. So say what you will about that software, but at least it looks nice. And a lot of things are a lot more logical to find, in my opinion. I feel like it's easier to navigate Armory Crate. Could just be because I've used it for a while. But the point is, I don't like their software, and it has a lot of extra stuff. Now, one thing I noticed that Optimum Tech also mentions is that this software uses half a gig of memory while open. And I can actually check on that right now. I'll just pull out my other keyboard because I don't want to connect this dongle, as I have to connect it to my motherboard. Okay, so when the app is running in the background, it does not use that excessive amount of memory, so that's good to know. I guess it's normal while it's in the background. But the point is, while open, it does use a lot of RAM. I don't know why. Not desirable, but it's fine if it's only while it's open. Just make sure to not have it open all the time. I have 32 gigs, so it's not that big of a deal. But you have 16. It is a sizable amount of memory. Now then, back to rapid trigger. I don't really feel the difference with or without rapid trigger on. Keep in mind, I don't play the most competitive games. I play, for example, the most competitive I get is Destiny Trials of Osiris. I'm not good at the game either, but the point is, I don't really feel the difference with or without rapid trigger. And it feels just basically about the same as my main keyboard, the Azoth. I am using Wuche Studios, I believe it's gray tactiles or silent tactiles. So I just don't really feel a difference. I guess this is a good switch, I can say that much. But I don't feel the difference between my main keyboard and a rapid trigger keyboard. Perhaps with my main keyboard, since it's tactile, once you do a certain amount of pressure, it basically bottoms out real quick. So maybe that helps me feel like it's about the same than these linears. And then the tactile also bounces back really instantly. So I don't know. I feel like I don't feel the difference. Even adjusting the actuation point on these keys, it doesn't make much of a difference to me. And lastly, I don't like the sound of this keyboard. And once again, I come from a very modified keyboard with a lot of sound dampening and lubricated switches, etc. This feels... it's good. I'll say that. It's good for, like, if you come from cheap keyboards or, laptop style keyboards, this is a good mechanical keyboard. But I don't like the sound. The key bottoming out feels kind of loud to me. There's not too much inconsistency with the keys in terms of lubrication and scratchiness, but it's not my favorite. I definitely would prefer something tactile and perhaps a half height keycap, that way it wouldn't bottom out and make that sound. But in general, I just want to say I don't love the sound on this keyboard. So as a conclusion, it's definitely not a bad keyboard. I can't tell the difference between my main keyboard and having rapid trigger. Does not make a difference to me currently. But I don't play extremely competitive games either, so I wouldn't really be the right person to ask. I would definitely recommend you check out Optimum's video. I'll have a link of his video in the description, and it'll be right here. I think you can put other people's videos in this corner. He definitely plays more competitive games than I do, and he says he does notice a difference, plus he does a couple interesting tests and explains things better than I do. So I recommend you check out his video if you're very interested in this keyboard. If this is the first time you hear about this keyboard, then it might interest you. But anyways, you might feel a difference on this keyboard if you play more competitive games. It's cool to be able to adjust the actuation distance, but not really necessary in my case. I do remember people telling me that rapid trigger is a game changer in the comments, and that's why I kind of wanted to try this keyboard out. And some people also mentioning that it was really annoying for typing. I believe that was more of the actuation force they didn't prefer. But after using it for a bit, it did not affect me in typing at all. It might be because of a software update on the app side, perhaps, or drivers. I don't know what that app did. it decompressed or unzipped a lot of the files onto my computer. I'm gonna figure out if I can delete that easily, but yeah, it doesn't really bother me in typing. It doesn't make a difference for me in gaming, and I don't like how it sounds. So I am not gonna be buying a keyboard, a SteelSeries Apex Pro for me personally. But if you're interested, take a look at it. And yeah, guys, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon to get notified. And yeah, any questions you have, leave them in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.